So for today's reading workshop, we are going to be talking about retelling fiction books. Remember, fiction books are books that tell a story, okay? When strong readers don't just read the book, after reading the book, they retell what happened in the book. And in order to help us retell a fiction book, I have this retelling hand to help us, okay? After reading a fiction book, we can talk about these 5 things. 1, which is who the characters are in the story. The setting, which is where the story takes place. The problem. The solution, which is how the problem is solved. And then lastly, we have a connection where we connect to something that happened in the book. So this is our retelling hand, and we are going to read a book together, and you're going to help me, after reading the book, you're going to help me retell what happened using our retelling hands. Okay? So I have this book called Max Rides His Bike. Okay? And it's about a story. Okay? And after reading this book, you're going to help me retell what happened in this book. So let's get started. Max rides his bike. Max rides his bike. Okay, let's get started. Max said to Grandpa, "I can ride my bike like this. Can the little wheels come off?" Grandpa looked at Max's bike. "The little wheels can come off your bike today," he said. Oh, here's Max with his bike, and he's asking for the little wheels to come off. Okay, let's continue. Grandpa said, "Look at your bike, Max. No little wheels." And I see that Grandpa took off the little wheels. Max got on his bike. He went for a little ride on the grass. Max came down on the grass. The bike came down on Max. Oh no. This is making me think. Could this be the problem of the story? Let's continue reading. Okay. Grandpa said, "The little wheels can go back on your bike." "No, Grandpa," said Max. "I am going to ride my bike with no little wheels." "I will help you," said Grandpa. "No, Grandpa," said Max. "I can ride my bike like this." Max got back on his bike. Max went for a ride on his bike. He went up and down on the grass. "Grandpa, look at me!" shouted Max. No little wheels. Oh, now that I'm done reading this book, being a really strong reader, I need to be able to retell what happened. So get out your hands, and we are going to work on retelling the story together. So, okay, first, we are talking about the characters. Who are the characters in the story? Looking back at this book, oh, I see that the characters are Max and Grandpa. Oh, okay. We got our characters down. So who are the characters again? Right, Max and his grandpa. Next, we're talking about the setting, which is where the story takes place. Let's look back in the story. Let's look back in the book. Oh, where do you think the story takes place? This kind of looks like their backyard. Oh, so where is the setting of the book? Right, the setting is in their backyard where Max is learning how to ride a bike. Okay, so now we have the characters, the setting. Now, what is the problem in the story? Let's look back here, shall we? Oh, Max is riding his bike here. Let's continue looking. Wait, could this be the problem? Right, over here, Max fell off his bike and the bike fell on top of him. Is that the problem? Yeah, he's learning how to ride a bike with no little wheels, but then he fell. Oh, so now let's review. So far we had the characters, Max and Grandpa, the setting where the story takes place, which is in their backyard. The problem is, what's the problem? Right, Max is learning how to ride a bike with no wheels, but he fell. So our next part of our retelling hand is the solution. So how is the problem solved? Over here. Let's take a look back at the book. Do you remember what happened next? What happened here? Right. Exactly. Max got back on his bike. So that might be the solution. He didn't just give up. He went back on his bike and said, I can ride my bike like this with no little wheels. Oh, very good. That's how the problem was solved. And now, what is the connection that you have with the book? Something that happened to you something that this book made you think about. Think. What's your connection? Something I can connect with this book is when the first time that I learned how to ride a bike with no little wheels. It was really hard, and of course I fell, but I did not give up and went back on the bike and kept trying. So let's do this again, okay? Let's remind ourselves our retelling hand for Max rides his bike, okay? Get your hand ready and get ready to retell. So remember, our first is the characters, okay? Who are the characters in the story? Right, Max and his grandpa. Next, what is the setting? Right, their backyard. What is the problem? Right, the problem is Max was learning how to ride a bike with no little wheels, but he fell. And what is the solution? How was the problem solved? Right, he got back on his bike. And what is the connection that you have? A connection you may have is when the first time that you learned how to ride a bike. It wasn't easy, was it? Okay, now let's all put it together. Just like how I would, this is how your retelling hand should be. The characters in the book is Max and his grandpa. The setting takes place in Max and Grandpa's backyard. The problem is that Max is learning how to ride a bike with no little wheels, but he fell. The solution is that he did not give up. He went back on his bike and kept going with no little wheels. A connection I have with this book is the first time when I learned how to ride a bike. I fell, but I did not give up. I went back on and was able to learn how to ride a bike with no little wheels. So remember, whenever you're reading your fiction books that tells a story, you can strong readers are able to retell what happened in the story, saying who the characters are, what the setting of the story is, what the problem is, the solution of the problem, how the problem got solved, and find a connection that they have with the book. Okay, so when you go off to read on Raz Kids and reading a fiction book, remember a storybook, okay, after reading, be sure to retell what happened in the story. Okay, have fun reading.